Hi, I'm Tamara, and welcome to my YouTube channel. So today we're going to talk about what's your style? Do you have one? I think you do. So we're going to be talking about learning styles, and then I'm going to put a little twist on it. I'm going to teach you a little bit about what your handwriting says about you. So you want to hang in here with me on this one because I think you're going to learn some interesting things about yourself before we finish. So the reason why I think this is so important is because actually there are many times in your life when you're having to learn new information, and if you don't know how you process information, it can make things a lot harder for you, or you might not understand why it is that you're struggling to learn something that should be easy or simple. It could be when you're at church or when you are at a meeting, or if, let's say, you buy a new product and you have to figure out how to put something together. You know, what's your learning style? Where does your mind go in order to learn that new information? So for me, for example, I noticed that if I was at church or I was at a meeting or a seminar, or even people would come up to me and tell me about something, I just wasn't comprehending it at all. Especially like if I have a day when a lot of people are coming to me with information, it's sort of like Charlie Brown, what the teacher's like, wah, wah, wah. I mean, that's all I would hear. It's like, I just learned to nod, and really I'm not getting anything that you're saying. It's not sinking in at all. And I think the reason for that is I'm not an auditory learner at all. So some people are auditory learners, and we'll talk about that in just a second. So for me, what I learned was when I take notes at church, I comprehend and remember everything so much better. I can come back and tell you what the whole sermon was about, or if I'm at a meeting or a seminar and I'm writing everything down, I can tell you all about it. But there have been some trainings that I've been to where the person who's over it will say, "Oh, Tamara, you don't need to write anything down. I've already written it all for you. I'm gonna send you a PowerPoint on it. Here's the paper here. You don't need to write anything down." And I'm like, okay, I'm probably gonna be calling you a whole lot, because if I'm not writing it, I'm not getting it. I'm absolutely 100% not an auditory learner. So the type of learner that I am is something new. Read and write learners. These people are your copious note takers or your avid readers. It really helps them to write things down. They learn by translating abstract thoughts into words. It even helps these learners if they can rewrite their notes and reword it, paraphrase it. That really helps them to retain the information better. When they reword ideas and main concepts, it helps them to understand the information better and get a deeper understanding of it. So even if they're looking at diagrams or graphs, it helps them if they can take that and reorganize it into statements or words. So what exactly is a visual learner? Visual learners learn by seeing or using graphs and diagrams and organizers, graphic organizers. Sometimes they can replace important words with symbols even, and it helps them to retain the information better. You know, like shorthand. Do you find yourself using highlighters, and when you highlight words, it helps you to remember it better? Then you probably are a visual learner, or maybe you should try that if you're not sure what type of learner you are. The next type of learner is an auditory learner. So as you can guess, they learn by hearing. So they learn by listening and speaking in groups. Also, repetition helps them to learn by repeating things over and over, out loud even. So if you're taking a class and you're trying to learn or retain information, if you're an auditory learner, it will probably help you to record your notes and listen to it over and over again, and you'll notice that you're retaining it better. Also, reread your notes and your lecture notes out loud so that you can hear yourself doing that. Explain your notes to somebody. I think that's pretty cool if you're an auditory learner. Me personally, I'm not. Wish I could be, but if you're talking to me and you're telling me about some things that I've never heard of before in my life, and I'm doing this, there's a chance that I'm not comprehending any of it. Sorry. And the last type of learning style is the kinesthetic learner. They have to learn by doing it. They have to take a very hands-on approach. They have to figure out things by hand, okay? So they can take gadgets and figure them out just by touching it, trying it out, putting it together. Let's say they buy something new and they're trying to put it together. They're probably going to learn it best by touching it, playing around with the different parts of it, not by somebody just simply telling them, okay, you're going to pick up this part first and then put this together. No, they have to actually touch it and figure things out that way. Pretty cool, huh? It would help this type of learner to use pictures and photographs in order to figure out concepts. Those are the 4 learning styles. I'm sure there's a lot more learning styles that I just didn't mention here, but those are the main ones. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you a little bit about handwriting. I think handwriting analysis is so cool, and it can tell you so much about yourself. If you notice your handwriting next to even a family member's, your handwritings are going to be so totally different. Believe it or not, there's actually a lot of meaning behind what you're writing. It's called brain script. So you can tell if you lie a lot. There's a lot you can tell about handwriting. So maybe one day I'll do a more in-depth one on handwriting. But for today's purposes, since we're just learning about what your learning style is, I'm going to show you some things in your handwriting that can tell you about what kind of learner you are, okay? So what I want you to do is take a piece of paper and write 2 or 3 sentences. And that way you're not cheating, because when you see this, I don't want you to say, I make mine just like that. You know what I'm saying? So get your piece of paper, write a few sentences down so that you can have a clearer understanding of which one you truly are, right? So the first one is called a cumulative thinker. Basically, with these learning styles, you're going to be looking at your M's and your N's. They're going to give you big clues into how you learn. So do you make your M's and your N's, even your H's like this? That means you probably are a cumulative thinker. So you might reach conclusions after carefully accumulating all the facts. It's like you're building, sort of like you're building a house, like one brick at a time. You don't like to rush your thinking to have to hurry with a decision. You like to kind of take your time and mull over things a little bit. You're able to create and to construct things with your hands. You like to build up all the facts until you see a finished product. So kind of one concept, one thing at a time. So your thinking tends to be very careful and based on established facts because you feel this is a reliable way to reach the right answer. So you're inclined to build one idea upon another, accumulating facts until you have enough to reach a conclusion. So there's a good deal of methodical thinking in your makeup. It enables you to build your conclusions from facts based upon facts. So basically, it might feel like you're a little bit of a slower thinker. You're building one layer of information at a time, but once you finish, it's like you've built an entire house, and you probably can surpass everybody with all of the things that you've learned, kind of one thing at a time. All right, so let's talk about the next learning style with your handwriting, okay? And remember, you're looking at your M's and N's. That's your number one place to look. So the next learning style is the investigative learner. So take a look. The M's and N's are made with sharp wedge-like points. So you assemble facts of record and dig deeply to discover new information. You like to delve into a subject for new facts and can assemble existing materials easily. Deep study as well as careful accumulation of data is something you appear to enjoy and do very well. If what you wish to know is not available in record form, you'll search for it. So basically, an investigative thinker is someone who asks a lot of questions. They're curious. You know, those people, they always kind of dig a little bit deeper, and that's how they learn. That's how they retain information. So the next type of handwriting, and the last one that I'm going to share with you, is called the comprehensive learner. And remember, once again, you're looking at your M's and your N's and you're seeing how you're forming them. So let's take a look. The comprehensive learner is an instant thinker. So you learn without showing great effort. You get annoyed at slow thinkers, ones to whom you must repeat information. You are on the move, always in a hurry. No one has to draw a picture to get you to see what it is that they're talking about. Okay, so basically the comprehensive thinker is a thinker who learns very, very fast, very rapidly. They soak in information very, very, very quickly. And you'll see these like needle-like points in their handwriting. Whenever I see people that have these little, form these little needles in their handwriting, I always know, okay, this person learns very fast. They're not going to have a lot of patience if you don't pick up some things as quickly as they do. But it's okay. But it's fascinating. So mine, by the way, is the first one, the cumulative. I make mine, most of mine kind of with a roundy thing, kind of roundy points. So if you're really curious about handwriting, here are some handwriting books that you can check out that can help you learn a lot more about yourself and what your handwriting says about you. All right, so anyways, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you learned something new about yourself that you can use in your everyday life. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe and share my video with other people so that they can enjoy learning about themselves and others and, hey, have a more productive life even. All right, well, I had fun spending a little time sharing some new information with you. Enjoy your day. Bye.